Something is up with my OBS. And so we see a principled response here. Murph's probably looking to make some sort of stone wall. Bring the knight out. There's actually the idea c5 and bring the knight to the back there. And then with a massive center, Murphs will probably be quite happy. I don't know what is up with my computer though. It should not be like this, but it is. So who knows? I mean, the most reasonable move here is, d3, d4. But 95 jumps straight into the position. Again, there is this idea c5. And I believe c5 is quite good. Also very good is bishop d6. Bishop d6 by Murphs. Look at him go, Murphs. Once again proving that he is kind of goated. Here you can do what's known as undermining the structure by c5. Very important idea. There's also knight, but again, the best friend of the d pawn is the c pawn, so castles, I don't hate it. And in fact, the idea of f5 is that you can play f4 and the rook comes with. It doesn't work at the moment because this bishop does defend this square along with the pawn, but it is an idea. C4 probably doesn't work. I mean, or rather, it does work. It's just a true gambit at that point. Because you'll have to play something like... Yeah, you'll have to play something like c4 here, and then queen gets active, but there's a chance that it gets kicked around a bit, knight, and that sort of thing. And it's not so easy. So perhaps instead, c6 is not a bad idea when you meet this move, and you play in some sort of semi-Slavish structure. Thank you, Stream Elements. Queen d3, though. I'm not certain I like this move. Again, c6. Vishwanathan Anand played a game in the semi-Slav against Vladimir Kramnik, I want to say. And that's Anand's Immortal, and it was in the semi-Slav. Similar position to this, just without f5. And f5 doing quite well to restrict the queen and the light square bishop. But it comes with its own threats. If ever this pawn structure is damaged, then this diagonal will become quite fierce. Again, I'd like to see c6, knight here. There's even some ideas b6. There's actually b6 here, attacks the queen. But bishop d7, I don't hate it. Obviously, if takes takes, I think that it's actually black that is quite happy with that trade. Despite giving up a knight for a bishop, this knight is very active, one of white's 3 active pieces. And, well, I think that it would be quite good for black. And in the semi-Slav and in all of these sorts of positions, it's always known that the light squared bishop is a little worse than the dark squared bishop. Because you'll see all of the pawns are on light squares here. It's very difficult for the bishop to actually develop out. So I don't like queen takes here. I'm not a fan of it. But it does justify the idea c5 and knight c6. And so c4 here, I want to see c6. You have to make the pawn structure solid, because when you're dealing with this fianchetto, you have to make sure that the bishop bites into granite. You need to make this wall of pawns, c6, so important. But we'll see. Okay, c6, look at that. Murph's playing what is possibly the best move in the position. And for a guy who hasn't studied, this is really, really impressive. To intuitively understand a position at such a level. Here, actually, it's not a bad move to take. I wouldn't take, but it's not a bad move to take. There's this idea here. Attacks the queen. It might not be in time. This queen is slightly placed poorly. Calls no point. Okay, let's see. Is he going to pick up? Let's find out. I'm being egoed. Be right. JG, you can refund that because no point didn't answer. Oh, well, happens. Force of habit. Ah, true. Truly, the capitalistic urges when you get your tax return back in July. But Murph's taking a think here. Looks to play e5. That is a big commitment. I'm not certain I like that move. But the more I look at it, the more it looks okay. C takes. Here I even think knight takes isn't a bad move. But probably pawn takes is better. Interesting. Okay. I'm spamming blowjobs. Yeah. This is interesting. Obviously you have to take this pawn or else the knight falls. There's no danger levels available in the position, but here, now what? Doesn't work. I suppose. Look at this! Maths is thinking with 4D chess. He's voluntarily made Jello's bishop deactivate through this. And he's attacking the queen. The queen has not many safe squares. The queen has this square, and I suppose this square if you really want to trade off queens, but I feel like don't trade off queens. Queen d8, fair move. I wonder if queen e7 was better. Because obviously the idea of queen e7 is a bishop 5. It's not really so big of a deal. You can even play h6 there. It's probably not a good idea to play h6 there, but you can play h6 there. You've freed up the square for the knight, and if the knight comes here, it will be a menace. Look at that. Even more so if the knight comes here. It's got all sorts of ideas of jumping into the position here. Taking a look at this very tender square. And if ever this... Well, I mean, this doesn't quite work yet, but if this happens, instead, then how will he deal with mate? Obviously a h3, but there's actually ideas of sacrificing a knight on that square. Because checks are the most forcing moves. Despite Murph's taking so long to think, it is now Yellow-Jello taking a long think. And he needs to find moves. Rook e1 immediately comes to mind, looking to play e4. Bishop g5. And that's really it. Like, these are the only 3 moves, and I'm not even certain that, you know, some of these are so good even. Because Murph's will be in time. Rook d1, I'm not certain I like that. This pawn is immobile. It's getting blockaded. You don't need to defend this pawn. You've already got 2 defenders. There's only 1 attacker. And more importantly, this is the threat. Or even this. And then if the queen moves, there's an interesting idea. But a6, looking for b5. Look at this. Playing in a sort of close Sicilian style with this pawn majority against the A and B pawns. Here, would I trade? I think I would. I think I would just play bishop takes bishop. If queen takes, then it's not so bad for black after b5, right? I suppose this pawn hangs, so you have to defend it. Can you drop that pawn? Probably not. But look at that, b5 immediately. Look, if your bishop is under attack, you might as well attack the queen as well. But there is a tactic here. Do you spot it? Congratulations if you did. It is knight takes pawn. He doesn't see it. So the idea is knight takes this, and the rook hangs in the corner. Look, you never know. Maybe you just need to play more puzzles. But queen c2, not terrible, but also you have to realize that b4 comes, and it's getting really, really difficult for white to make some moves. Murph's slowly squeezing the life out of Yellow-Jello here. Playing in a very Karpovian style. What a strong player. Okay, take with queen. And be quite happy here as black. And there's still 3 pieces now defending this pawn. But one's about to get shunted. And once it gets shunted, in fact, rook e5. Interesting move. You can allow this. Just play knight d7. If takes, then this covers that now. So Knight d7. Interesting move. But instead takes, and I'm not so certain I like this. Obviously, comes rook takes. Activates the inactive rook. This 2-on-1 will make a passed pawn, but this pawn is so difficult for inhibiting this. I'm wondering if knight e4 is actually a move here. Just looking to liquidate. If takes, then this pawn will fall at some point. But knight bd. Knight bd, just knight back. Obviously, right here. How do you attack the queen? Because this bishop, despite not doing anything on paper, is actually a key defender of this pawn, which is keeping white's position together. If this pawn falls, everything goes wrong for white. Honestly, right now, I wouldn't mind seeing rook e5 and rook e8. Just completely abandoning this pawn and trying to get in and start gobbling up on the second rank. I will see here. Murphs and Jello playing slow. Rook d2, defending on the second rank. Possibly looking himself to go rook e1 and e4. But I feel like this is a bit slow. You allow this.